This is Retirement Keys with Anthony Congemi from Crescent City Retirement Group. When a part of your financial strategy is out of tune, your long-term goals, your retirement savings, and your legacy can all suffer. With many years of experience in the financial industry, Anthony provides his clients and prospects with the information they need regarding Social Security, retirement income planning, wealth management, and much more. Listen in as we address your financial concerns and provide helpful solutions to put you on the path to achieving your retirement goals. And now, here is Retirement Keys with your host, Anthony Congemi.
Welcome to another show of Retirement Keys with me, Anthony Congemi from Crescent City Retirement Group, and our fabulous co-host who's coming in town to join us in the next 3 or 4 weeks, I think mid-June, Mr. Tony Shore. Tony, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Oh, I'm honored to be here. Thanks for having me on the show again, Anthony. I love doing this each week with you. And yeah, I'm going to be hanging out in the big city there with you in just a few weeks here in mid-June. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll probably record a show live while I'm down there. So I'm looking forward to it. This is a good time of year, and I'm excited about seeing you and the staff. When we record these shows, we're often not in person. Our listeners may not even know that, but I'm in one location, you're in another, and so it's going to be fun to do it together face to face, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're really looking forward to your visit, and like you say, we hopefully we can do a show together live, and that would be really great too, Tony. So how's the show looking this morning?
Well, really good. In fact, I'm excited about the topic we have for today. I know we're talking about the singles key to retirement, correct?
Yeah, the singles key to retirement. The road to retirement is often stressful and challenging for Americans, and the singles key to retirement is what the topic is today, Tony. So I was looking at some of the show notes. It looks very very interesting.
Well, yeah, and there's kind of a trend. A lot of people are in retirement. More and more people are finding themselves in retirement single, whether that's because of the loss of a spouse or a divorce, or they just choose to be single. It seems like more and more people are single in retirement. But we need to look at that and see how all of this ties into retirement, right?
Absolutely we do. According to the USA Today, the number of married Americans has been steadily declining in recent decades, which has been described as one of the largest unnamed social shifts of the past 60 years. So it's becoming more of a trend, Tony, that people, as you say, whether by choice or maybe they're widow or widowed in retirement, there's a lot of singles in retirement. And so that presents its own set of circumstances that should be addressed.
Yeah. Yeah, and how does all of that tie into retirement, Anthony?
Well, the current retirement landscape of America has been described by many experts as the crisis of sorts. This crisis is even worse for those who are single, especially single women, Tony, because not only do they only have one income to rely on, but men generally earn more money than women. And now that's unfortunate to say, but it's the truth.
Yep.
There's so many challenges that singles face, especially when it comes to finances and retirement. So it's really it's an issue for a married couple or a couple, but a single has some unique challenges as well.
Right, that's a good point. And even though that income gap between men and women has shrunk a bit, and things have gotten better for a lot of women out there, you're right. Men still typically earn more money than women, unfortunately. But being single's got to be tough in retirement. Maybe discuss some specific ways that being single it can affect your financial life.
Well, Tony, being single has its perks You get to live by your own rules and avoid the struggles and conflicts that so many married couples experience. When it comes to finances, however, being single can put you at a significant disadvantage. Not only do you need to have more emergency funds on hand than someone who is married, since there's no other source of income, if you happen to lose your job, but you also tend to get the short end of the stick when it comes to taxes, since you can't enjoy the benefits that come with filing jointly. So, I mean, right out the gate, Tony, just a single filer isn't going to have the deductions that a married couple enjoys. So there's some challenges there. The income, of course, the income coming in is going to be less because it's one income rather than two. And there's even tax advantages that the married couples can enjoy that a single person does not.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Discuss a little more, though, in detail, how being single can affect retirement planning then.
Of course, Tony. So all of what I've described paints a pretty bleak picture when it comes to retiring on a single income. Funding a retirement account can be a challenge since single people have fewer opportunities to save money on their day-to-day expenses. As a matter of fact, according to the study from the nonprofit group RAND, almost half of the single women and a third of single men enter retirement financially unprepared. Meanwhile, only 20% of the married folks are unprepared. Depending on whether they're divorces or recently widowed or simply don't have a long-term partner, solo retirees are likely to face specific hurdles as it relates to their finances, Tony.
Yeah, and obviously those hurdles need to be overcome, and I know we're going to talk some more about that, Anthony, coming up here in our next segment. We're almost out of time for this first portion of our show. We have to take a quick break, but is there anything you'd like to share with us before we take that break?
Well, Tony, as you know, we spend a lot of time, that we really have 5 primary aspects of the retirement planning process that we think is just critical, the pillars of any retirement plan, and that's estate and legacy planning, healthcare planning, investment planning, income planning, and taxes. In those 5 key areas. And I would just encourage all of our listeners, whether you're single or married, to give our office a call. If you don't have a formal retirement income plan, come out to one of our educational workshops, give our office a call. We're happy to put a plan together for you. I have a special offer I'd like to make to you this morning. Listeners, I have a very special offer for you today. The next 20 people that call in will receive a complimentary consultation, a copy of my book titled The Keys to a Stress-Free Retirement, and a personalized Social Security Rule of 100 report, all at no charge. All you have to do is call now to set up that complimentary consultation, and the book and personalized report are yours, all at no cost with no obligation. Call Crescent City Retirement Group at 504-828-2171 now. If you get our voicemail, please leave your name and number and mention this radio show. The number again is 504-828-2171. You don't want to miss this amazing opportunity.
And welcome back to Retirement Keys with our host, Anthony Congemi, and myself, your co-host, Tony Shore. Today's show is called The Singles Key to Retirement. This is a unique aspect of retirement planning that we don't often talk about. But, Anthony, you've been discussing some of the unique challenges that singles face when it comes to their financial lives, especially in retirement, or specifically about retirement. So let's dive right back into where you left off. You mentioned that it really depends on whether somebody is divorced, widowed, or never had a partner. Can you go into some more specifics of how that might play out?
It certainly makes a difference, Tony, when it comes to retirement. To go into a little bit more detail, consider that so-called gray divorces are much more common these days. According to the 2013 study of the Bowling Green State University, quarter of new divorces in America are 50 or older. Those who have separated from their partners are likely left with a larger house payment, have to dish out a portion of their income or retirement savings to their ex, and any of these issues could throw off your retirement plan. So, Tony, it's really a shame, but, as the statistic shows, people, more divorces are happening with older folks. And of course, that, as we know, can severely affect a retirement plan. And so we would just, and we spend a lot of time with our clients in the past and potential clients that have gone through that. And, Tony, you can certainly put a plan together. You just have to be diligent, and you have to, understand what aspects are and opportunities are available to really carve out that plan as a single person.
Yeah, and I think that's really, really important to understand, and that's why folks who work with you, they can feel secure in knowing they have a written plan in place that's really tailored for their specific situation, whether they be married or single, what have you. So what are some steps that you would tell those out there who are divorced? What are some steps they could take to prepare for the retirement they've hoped for?
Well, to start, it would be a good idea to revisit your savings and your timeline. You should recalculate your retirement income based on the amount in your own accounts, then add in what you expect to get from Social Security. In most cases, you can either claim your own benefit or half of your spouse's benefit if you were married for at least 10 years. Even if your ex-spouse passes away, you can claim a full widow's benefit even if you've been divorced for a significant time. It's also a good idea to do a portfolio review to make sure that you're still on the right track. Whatever stock bond plans you created for your spouse might not make sense for you when you're single. They might be too aggressive, or it might be too conservative. You should visit a trusted financial professional who can help you reassess your financial strategy and to help you get to where you want to be based on your new situation. So we're just looking at the new situation, Tony, and really focusing more on the individual rather than how the planning might have looked as a couple. I know healthcare planning is also going to be real important, especially for single women. Typically they are excellent caregivers and the men aren't as good. Well, now as a single woman, preparing for unexpected health issues where you might need to call in, sitters, nurses, aides, therapists, people to come in, help cook and clean and do those types of things while you're recovering from an illness or an accident. So all of these things, Tony, are just really, not, out of the ordinary in any sense, but can certainly derail a retirement plan if it's not well thought out.
Yeah. Yep. And that's why I know you talk about how important the keys to retirement are, the successful keys to retirement. What advice do you have for those who are single because they may have recently lost a spouse or a partner?
Well, Tony, just like a divorce, the loss of a spouse typically entails adjustments on many fronts. Not to mention that the grieving process can make planning a retirement alone even more complicated. The first step is to get the proper help. You might want to input from an attorney to help you with probate and estate planning, a CPA to help with tax questions and planning, a financial professional who can look over your portfolio and help you determine the proper plan for your unique situation and goals. Another important piece is that you should consider postponing major decisions. If you've recently received a lump sum from life insurance, retirement plan, or a pension, you should put that money in a high-yield savings account until you get properly organized. You should also think of taking stock. Apart from your spouse's 401k or IRA, you can claim your spouse's full Social Security benefit if it's higher than yours. The most important thing to remember, Tony, in all of this is that you need to consider what goes into managing both your emotional and financial demands of this situation and make sure you have the right help in place to do the planning. So it's all just extremely important to have a well thought out retirement plan.
So, Anthony, you've covered a couple of things here. You've talked about people who find themselves single because of divorce, and that was some good advice there for people who maybe recently lost their spouse and are now single. But what about people who have been single for a while and are needing to enter retirement or have a plan in place?
Yeah, so if you've been single for a long while, you've had the benefit of figuring out the plan you want for your retirement. The downside is that you face obstacles around saving for the future and having the right support in place. The first bit of advice I have is to save as much as you can while possible. Not only can married couples save twice as much, but they also usually don't spend twice as much as singles do. While your 401k and IRA may look the same as an average individual, you could be spending proportionately more on your lifestyle. You need to focus on maximizing and maxing out, if you will, your 401k contribution and ensure your savings are in line with your retirement goals, since your living expenses are significantly more than a married couple. Aside from that, you should make sure you have the right legal documents in place. If you don't have children or family to make financial decisions on your behalf, you will want to make sure that you take the proper steps to ensure that your health and your money decisions don't end up in the hands of a court if you become incapacitated. On a related note, you should be sure that you fill the necessary roles. You'll want to name someone as a decision maker for your money and your health. So having the proper power of attorneys, Tony, and all of the different estate planning documents, and as we mentioned earlier, the health care planning, all of those things are important for any of us, married couples and singles, but especially for singles, Tony, having that health care plan, having that estate planning documents in order, having your power of attorneys in place, having advocates for you in the event of an illness such as that is so important, especially for singles.
Yeah, that's huge. And obviously, it brings its own set of unique challenges being single in retirement, so you want to be able to plan for that. Now, our time is almost up for this segment. Is there anything else you want to add before we take another quick break here?
Well, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. We have a couple of really neat events coming up here. We're doing our Shredded event in the next couple of weeks here, and we're going to have live music and Lucky Dog hot dogs and snowball stands, the whole bit out here at our Kenner location with the Shredded trucks. So any old documents that you need shredded, you can come out and visit. Call the office at 504-828-2171. We'll all be here. It's a Saturday morning, plenty of parking, a lot of good food and some fun, and most importantly, an opportunity to do all the shredding that you need to do with the Shredded trucks on hand. We'll have teenagers out in the parking lot helping you bring your bags, boxes in for the Shredded. But anyway, I wanted to mention that, so give our office a call, 504-828-2171, if you'd like to join us for the Shredded event.
Yeah, I think that's a great event and a good opportunity for our listeners to meet you and get some of their important documents that they no longer need shredded if they have personal documents. And I also want to encourage our listeners, Anthony, to go to your website, crescentcityretirement.com. And there they can click on just scroll down, and they'll see Retirement Keys with Anthony Congemi, the radio page. And there they can listen to this show. They can listen to past shows. And now the show is available as a podcast, and we have buttons right on the site there that they can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify. And I think it's a great site, a lot of great resources for our listeners out there. Now, listeners, stay tuned because we're going to be right back with more of this episode of Retirement Keys with our host, Anthony Congemi, right after this.
Listeners, I have a very special offer for you today. The next 20 people that call in will receive a complimentary consultation, a copy of my book titled The Keys to a Stress-Free Retirement, and a personalized Social Security Rule of 100 report, all at no charge. All you have to do is call now to set up that complimentary consultation, and the book and personalized report are yours, all at no cost with no obligation. Call Crescent City Retirement Group at 504-828-2171 now. If you get our voicemail, please leave your name and number and mention this radio show. The number again is 504-828-2171. You don't want to miss this amazing opportunity. And welcome back to our last segment of this show of Retirement Keys, the singles key to a retirement. We have been discussing how planning for retirement looks vastly different for those who are single versus those who are married and can rely on that additional income. We also touched on the potential solutions for individuals in numerous single situations, whether they are divorced, widowed, or have been single for a significant amount of time. So, Tony, I think it's been a great show, a very important topic, and you've just been a real help and blessing, as you are every week.
Oh, well, thanks, Anthony. That means a lot, and I always learn a lot from you, too. So I know we have fun doing the show. I hope our listeners enjoy it as well because you've given us a lot of great information. And I'm sure we have listeners out there who have to plan on retirement on their own or find themselves single in retirement. So what other advice do you have for them, regardless of their situation?
Well, I think that a huge part of the retirement planning process, Tony, is developing a strategic asset allocation. This is especially important when you're planning a solo retirement and have only one income to base your planning on. You need to make sure every bit of your assets is put to good use. Strategic allocation ensures diversification based on your own unique risk tolerance. Diversification is the key to risk management, and it's a critical component to your overall financial plan. A single way to state this is to not put all of your eggs in one basket. More specifically, I use the color of money approach to help clients allocate their assets in a way that best fits their needs. And you know, Tony, the color of money report is the red money, green money. So the question really is how much of that money should be conservative or more protected, and what percentage could be on the red side or maybe the more aggressive side. So we think that balancing act is so important as it relates to the overall asset allocation.
Well, is there a hard and fast rule that you always use, Anthony, to determine the right amount of risk for somebody?
No, everyone's situation's a little different. I pride myself on giving each of our clients the personalized service they deserve, which can help determine the right amount of risk for them. While each person's situation varies, there are some concepts that can help, like the color of money risk analysis. So there's certainly guidelines, Tony, and of course we do the 11-question color of money risk analysis, which is real helpful as a starting place, but really getting to know our clients, seeing what income they need, how much liquidity they need, what their time horizon is, what their attitude is toward risk. All of those factors play a role in really customizing and building out a proper investment strategy and asset allocation.
Well, that sounds great. It's good to know that there are valuable tools out there to help people in this situation. Do you have any other advice for those who might be going through retirement alone?
I'd say have a plan. You know, people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan.
Yep.
And I would say that if you have a plan, it's a well-documented, well-noted plan, very organized, very methodical plan as it relates to your estate planning, your healthcare strategies, your income planning, your investment strategy, and your tax planning, if you have a well-established plan, you can move in and through retirement confidently and enjoy that stress-free retirement that we talk so much about, Tony.
Yeah, I think that's key. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time for today's show. Is there anything else you want to add before we have to go today?
I would encourage you, as Tony did earlier, go out to our website at crescentcityretirement.com. We have events scheduled. We have that shredded event coming up, which is just going to be a good time. You can bring even your kids or grandkids out here. We're going to have, like I say, Lucky Dog booths. We'll have hot dogs, chili. We'll have snowballs and other little entertainment. And most importantly, we'll have shredded trucks out in the front for any old documents that you're looking to shred in a safe environment. So I would just encourage you to come out and visit with us. Please let me know when you come. Shake my hand and let me know who you are and that you do listen to the show, because I love hearing from our radio listeners.
Thank you for listening to Retirement Keys. Don't pay too much for taxes or retire without a sound income plan. For more information, please contact Anthony Congemi at Crescent City Retirement Group. Call 504-828-2171 or visit the website at crescentcityretirement.com. All matters discussed during this show are for informational purposes only. Each individual situation may vary, and the opinions expressed here may not apply to everyone. Materials presented are believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations can be made as to its accuracy. All ideas and information should be discussed in detail with one of our qualified representatives prior to implementation. Anthony Congemi and Crescent City Retirement Group are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency.